this is Esmeralda. Welcome to my YouTube video. Today I'm actually going to be reviewing this amazing book, Eleanor Park. I would have to say, and this is the back, this book is actually pretty well written. I see myself back in the day, you know, both in middle school and high school, and I just I can see how some people might find this very relatable, only because I've known of friends and their stories and whatnot, so I kind of feel that this could be very, very relatable. Anywho, this book was actually about to get banned in a school because some parents deemed it a little bit inappropriate and a bit vulgar. There is a little bit of cursing in here. But again, it's just something that a lot of high schoolers, even middle schoolers, you know, do. So it's not quite surprising because it's for their age group, their genre, whatever. This is considered like a young adult romance book. And it's, oh my gosh, this book, ooh, it's really good. Let me start by first saying, Eleanor and Park didn't know each other. She recently went to school, and then she was like what some people would say, like the oddball. She was a lot more heftier. She had orangey, really curly hair. And her dress wear wasn't always the best. There's a lot of things here. It's just to try to sum it up. It's like, how do I go about without actually giving too much of the book, if you know what I mean? So the mother is with the stepdad and has all of Eleanor's brothers and sisters, including her, and she lives in a very, very extremely tiny place. So much that everyone's just so cramped up. There's even a bathroom that doesn't have a door, just to kind of give you a rough idea of just how they were living. This book can be kind of relatable to some people. And this particular family, Eleanor's family, they always struggled with money. The stepdad was very, very, gosh, I really disliked the stepdad extremely a lot, just by the way he treated the kids and the way he was so disrespectful to Eleanor, like just very rude, you know? And definitely very conniving and very, very sneaky. Anywho, so that's the stepdad, you know, so that's something Eleanor has to deal with. But as going to school, she didn't really have friends. I guess you could say people just kind of made fun of her, or just kind of like, ugh, she's like an it girl, whatever. And here comes a boy named Park. He was actually very popular, and no one wanted to sit with Eleanor in the bus. So no one wanted to make room for her, and eventually Park scooted over and allowed Eleanor to sit down. And that was the beginning of something that even Park didn't realize, or Eleanor didn't realize, just how their relationship was going to be as people, or I don't know, I guess it's just students, or getting to know each other, or acquaintances, if you will. It definitely kind of built it up to their relationship about just in general who they are. They didn't start off really talking. It was very minimal. It's just kind of like dealing with each other, like, okay, you're here, whatever, don't talk to me, that kind of thing. But then eventually it grew. Park is really into comics, which I thought was really cool because I used to be into comics. So he was really into comics, and he started realizing that Eleanor was kind of sneaking a couple little peeks into his comics. And that's actually where everything starts in their relationship, the growth of it, and basically just how peer pressure and sometimes popularity versus non-popular kids, you know, how they dealt with things, and how they both had to overcome a lot of stuff in school as well. Something that definitely rotates a lot in this book, and it's one of the main things going on, is that someone continuously keeps writing in Eleanor's book, and writing some very nasty things, very vulgar, very inappropriate things in there. And the whole time, you know, there's these girls that hate her, and she's been trying to be aware of, whenever she leaves her book, like who's around her, who could be the one doing this in school and whatnot. Later basically in this book, it does eventually let you know who's the one who eventually was writing the stuff. Also, the relationship between Park and Eleanor get a little bit more complicated as well. And it's just about how his parents and his home, Park's home, basically kind of gave Eleanor a little bit of her space. I guess it gave her, not necessarily a space, but like a safe space for her to be in, because there's just so much drama at home, drama at school. And eventually Park has to do something to help Eleanor. And it's just their journey as a, like I said, in how they grow as a relationship, as they go from not wanting to know anything about each other to basically knowing way too much, and how involved they got, and just how complicated their relationship just got tied into, and it went wild. So if you want a wild ride but also get like quite a shocker at the end, I think this is such a good book. I mean, I was like and I cried. I'm not even gonna lie, I cried, I teared up. This story behind these two are just amazing. Rainbow Rowell brought to life these characters, like just the description to their lives, to everything. It really does bring so much to this book. So yeah, I mean, if you're interested in a romance book that has a lot of twists and a lot, kind of like a mystery in a way, with some very sad points and heartbreaking. I don't want to give too much information, but this is definitely something that I see a lot of teenagers and maybe young adults, or even, I don't know, like even preteens, you know, possibly dealing with these kinds of things. That's why I kind of don't believe that it should actually be a banned book, or anyone should actually deter a young adult or a teenager or preteen kid from reading this. I think it's very relatable, and it's very good story. Like, you guys definitely need to get up on there and just know just how riveting this story can become. I mean, it goes from something simple to something very complex, and it's very readable. Like I said, the wording in here is very easy to read. And the thing is, once you get started on reading, you're not gonna want to put this down. I mean, it just goes from page to page to page, and you're just like, wow, like it builds up pretty intense. I didn't care for the ending. Then again, I was very heartbroken, to say the least. And I'm not gonna say about what, it's just very heartbreaking, and I wish there would have been a little bit more different. But then again, in a perfect world, you'd get exactly what you want. But I think because it was very different, I do give it high score on this book, and I definitely highly recommend it. So if this is something you're interested in, definitely go to the bookstore, library, whatnot, rent it somewhere, get an audiobook, I don't know. Definitely go and get it. And that would actually conclude this review for me. So if you guys like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. And until next time, toodles.